Hi friends, welcome to this new YouTube tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to create a profit and loss calculator using Python Kivy. Like let me show you for example now. Like when we enter our values like 57, 67 and 0. When we click calculate, then it shows 67, which and it tells us if we are running on a profit. And also if I input here 90, it tells us if we are it gives the value, it calculates the value, which is minus 23, and it tells us that is loss. And also if it's 90, both 90 and 90, so the value will just be 0. So that's what we are working on today. Hi friends, if this is your first time encountering my YouTube channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button right now and like this video. And also, please don't forget to support me on PayPal. The link is at the description below. So let's get started. So first of all, we are going to be importing some stuff. So let's write from kivy.app, import app from kivy.properties, import string properties, then from kivy.lang.builder, import builder, and also and also the last one, which is from kivy.uix.screen manager, import screen then screen manager. So that is our first step now. Our second step now is to create the class for the application. Let's say class, let's write class. Let's call it P PAL. Let's write PAL. Then write a bracket app. Then we create a function which is build self. Build, that is to manage our number of screens. We're only using one screen. So we just first to just for let me just or let's go to the next step. I'll just write pass instead. Then class, which is main screen. Main screen, right screen over here. And also, so pass, we write pass. Then we come down here over here, and we are going to write um what if PAL. We are going to write PAL dot run. So that is our second step. So now here's what we want to do now. We want to create our screen and organize everything, all the we want to organize all the components into the screen. So that's what we are going to be working on right now. So let's do under this app, we are going to create a function which is build function. They will write screen equal to builder dot load string. Let's call it screen manager. Then write return screen. Then under here we are going to write screen manager manager. Then 1 2 3 1 2, you have to be 6 in number. So under here we are going to be creating our screen. So write screen manager. They will give 4 line spacing, 1 2 3 4. First screen. No, the name of our screen is main screen. Write main screen. They will come over here and write main screen. Create a class right over here. Screen. Then 1 2 3 4. We write the name of our screen. Name. We write write main. Then we'll come over here, relative layout, which is, and under this relative layout, 1 2 3 4, our orientation, we're going to make it vertical. Then our position, which is self dot pos. First of all, let's try and run it. No, let's try and do something. Let's come over here again to let's write something. We write sm equal to screen manager. You write sm dot add widget, which is main screen, our main screen. That's what we are adding, and the name equal to main. Right over here, if you remember here, we wrote main as our name. So we come over here and write main. So let's run it. So the screen is just blank. So let's move to the second step. So now right now the screen is blank. So we need to put some stuff into into the screen. So let's start writing something. So we are going to write. We are going to come over here. We are done with creating, organize. Let's put some stuff into the screen. So we come over here, we write label 1 2 3 4. Text, the text of our label. Let's write welcome to profit and loss calculator. So let's run it now. Let's see if anything is going to display. So a text is displaying here, but we want to increase the size of the text and also let the text be on top or right over here. So let's organize that. So here we are going to write our position hint, which we are going to write as center X. We are going to give it 0.5, and also center Y. We are going to give it 0.905. So let's see if it's going to be organized. So we are finally, look at it now. We have finally moved the text from right over the center to the top of the screen. So the last thing that we have to do is to enlarge the text. So what are we going to do now? We are going to say font size, which is self dot height over 15 bracket times 0.775. Let's run it now. So now we have successfully increased the size of our text. So let's move to the next step. So now we are finally done in creating our first text now. So we want to create other text, which is like maybe we enter our total profit, our loss, and I will enter our profit or loss, and also not just only in text which will display that you should enter your profit or you should enter your loss, but also we are going to put a text input where we are going to be imputing the values. So let's work on that right now. Right over here, we are going to create another label, which is we're going to write enter total profit. So under here, let's run it now and see what it's going to give us. It's showing some error. I made a mistake right over here. I should have written text like this. So let's run it. Enter total profit. We want it to move to this side somewhere right over to this position. So let's change the position, and also we want to increase the text um we want to increase the text size of it too. So let's work on that also. So we are going to give it position pos dot pos underscore hint, which we are going to give, say, center underscore x, which is the position should be 0.6, and center underscore y should be 0.705. So that we let's check now. Let's run it and see if it's going to be positioned correctly. It's showing some error. Or I'm supposed to bring this here and clear this other one too. So let's run it. Where's the error here? Let me see what I made. Let me see if there is a mistake I made somewhere. Oh, we are supposed to bring this over here. So let's run it. Enter total profit. We don't still like this position. Let's adjust the position properly. So we are going to write 0.3. Let's run it. Now we are satisfied with the position. We have already adjusted the position, so we are satisfied with it. So the next thing is to increase the size of this text right over here. So let's do that right now. So we write text. We are going to write font size, and the font size should be, we are going to write self dot height over 15 times 0.65. Let's run it. So now we are satisfied with, now we have enlarged the enter total profit text. So now the next thing to do is to put the text input. So let's work on the text input. So we go down and we write text input. Under the text input, we write ID. We should not, don't forget this. Write profit. Then we give it the size. We give it a size, and we dot hint, size underscore int, which is 0.3 and 0.05. That is x and y. And also, let's be fast about it. We don't want to waste time. So let's write our position underscore hint, which we are going to write. I'll just copy this right over here instead of me wasting time. I'll just copy this over here and paste, Control V. So let's just change our position, and this thing, we are going to give it 0.6, and our Y will be 0.705. So let's check it and see what it gives us. Now it looks so good. Now, all right, we can impute any value. Right now we have created a text input. So let's do something over the text input. Then the next step, now we are done with the text and the text input for profit. So let's go to the loss side. You write label. I'll just copy and paste. Copy and paste. Label. Let's call it enter total loss. And our position will change this time. X will be 0.3, y will be 0.605. 605. Our text input will change to loss, and our position will change. Our position will change to 0. X will be 0.6, y will be 6.605. Let's run it now and see what it's going to give us. So we have created our loss text input and also the label for text for total loss, and the text input for total loss. So let's go to the next step, which is to create a button which we call calculate over here. So right over here now we are going to create our this thing, our button. 1, 2, 3, 4. Text. We are going to call we are going to name the text of the button, which is calculate. Calculate. And the hint size hint will be, you are going to give it 30% on x, on the x, and 1% on the y. On our position, I'll just copy this right over here to save. In order to save time, I just want to copy this right over here. I will paste it right over here. We'll just change our x value, which is 0.47, and y will be, this time y will change to 5.05. Let's run it now. I'm showing some error here, right over here. Let's see, text. Oh, we forgot to do this. So let's run it now. As you can see now, the calculate button has been created. So let's move to the next step. So now the final thing for us we want to work on is to create our text input for it to display our what our this thing, for it to display the answer. So let's work on that. So in case when we calculate and write our values here and over here, when we click on calculate, it will display under a text input right over here. It will display the answer, and it's going to tell us if it's profit, if we made a profit, or if we made a loss. So let's work on that text input. Let's work on creating a text input over here. So here's what we are going to do. So right over here, we are going to write text. We are going to go down, text text input. Our text will be, we are going to write 0 under our text. let it display the zero. Also, we should not forget about this ID too. Let's call the ID answer, and also position hint. Let's copy this and paste it right over here, the position. So we are just going to change the position to 0.47 x, which is the x, and y should be changed to 0.305. So let's run it now, right now. It's too big. We have to change the size. We have to adjust the size. So to adjust the size, we are going to write size underscore hint, which is on the x is 0.3, and on the y, which is 0.15. So let's run it now, right now. So now it's adjusted. Now we are already done. We've made something. We've made our answer text, our answer box here. Whenever we just write any value here, and we write our any value over here, when we click calculate, should display something right over here. So now we're already done with this interface now. So let's work on giving. Let's ask Python to give. Let's tell Python to give instructions. Let's give. Sorry, I'm making a mistake. Let's give instructions to Python to calculate this value we input. Whenever we input these values, I will click on calculate. It's going to display an answer, which is either profit or either loss. So let's work on that right now. So now we are going to make sure that whenever we are going to make sure the calculation works properly and works fine. So let's work on that. So here's what we are going to do right over here. We are going to come over this place called main screen, and under our main screen we are going to, right, first of all I want to do something. There's something I want to do, which is we are going to create a variable which is called um what are we going to call the name of this variable? We're going to call it profit, which is equal to string. Here's what I want to do now. I want to make sure that whenever I run the application, let me write pass. Whenever I run the application, I make sure it displays 0 right over here, and also here 0 too. And the way the 0 is being displayed over here, I want to display 0 in both profit and loss text input. So we are going to create our variables. We are going to name it profit, which is going to be equal to string property. Then under the string property, I'm going to just write it as 0. Same thing for loss too. I'll do the same thing to copy and paste right over here, loss. So now we are, look at what we are going to do. Just pay attention, pay close attention. We are going to come over to this Kivy file, and right over here we are going to, under our text input for profit, we are going to write root dot profit. Let's run it. Let me show you what maybe, oh, write text here equal to, we're going to write root dot profit. You see now 0 is being displayed right over here. Let's do the same for loss too. We are going to go over here too. We are going to write text, which is root dot loss. And when we run it now, it's going to show zero for over here too. So now we are done with this step. Now let's move to the next step. So this this is our last step now. In our last step now, we are going to make sure that the calculation works properly. And when we input our values, we input any value, we click calculate. And whenever we click calculate, then it displays our value right over here. It calculates all the value accurately. So let's work on that now. Here is what we are going to do. We are going to write, we are going to come over this, come over here and create a function. First of all, aside from that, I'm going to create a variable which is called answer box, which is equal to string property. Then we write str over here. So under this class, we are going to create a function which is calculate. Then we are going to put self. Then we enter. Then we write try. Well, first of all, let's just write profit um variable. Look at, just pay close attention towards this side here. Equal to self. Here's what we are doing now. We want to connect this text input for profit. Whatever we write in this our text input under whatever we write under our text input for profit, we are going to connect it right. We are going to connect the value right over here. And here's why we are going to do it. Write self dot ids dot profit dot text, then our loss variable, the same thing. This profit here, pay attention, this profit is for this IDs. That is why we this for this ID. That is why I told you you have to put this ID. Is compulsory if you want to connect, be able to connect whatever we write under our text input. There we have to connect it. So we write also for loss to variable. We're going to write equal to self dot ids dot loss dot text, and we're going to write answer equal to 0. For answer box here, we need to clear this off. It's not needed. So here's what we are going to do now. Whenever we click on the um whenever we click this function calculate is for whenever we press this button. So we are going to do something right over here. We're going to write on press, which is going to be root dot calculate, the name of the function, calculate, the name of the function right over here. We are going to make sure that we start calculating immediately we press the calculate button. We are going to be calculating. So and when we are calculating, we are getting the text input for profit and we are getting the text input for loss. And also right over here, we're going to write answer is going to be equal to int. Then we are going to convert our profit value. We are going to be doing um integer calculation. We are going to convert this to an integer. Also int loss variable, that is profit profit minus loss. That is what we are doing right over here. So I want you to display the answer, right? Print answer. That is to print this under this right over the console here, right over here. So let's move to the next step now. We are going to make sure it's let's move to the next step right now. So now for us to display, for now when we run this application now and we enter our values, aside from it displaying right over the terminal here, I want it to display here. It's not displaying at all the answer. Whenever we click any calculate, whenever we enter our value, it's supposed to show the answer right over here instead of it showing or printing the answer right over here. So here's what we are going to do. So right over here, after we write print answer, then we're going to write answer is going to be equal to self dot ids dot answer. This ids right over here, the answer text input, and over here we are going to write dot text, which is going to be equal to, we are going to convert it to string dot answer. Then we'll run it. Let's try to input our values and see if it's going to work now. Nice. Now the value is now displaying right over the right over here. So let's change our value 89. Now it's displaying right over here. Now the final step for us to do is whenever we input any value, it's going to tell us if it's profit, if we made profit. Right over here, it's going to tell us if we made profit, loss, or any kind of stuff. And if we also, so first of all, let's work on that first. So now for us to make sure it works like that, it displays if we made profit or if we made loss. Here's what we are going to do. Um, here's what we are going to do now, right now. We are going to create conditions. So now, let's say now we made a profit. Any value that will constitute profit will be above zero, or it will be above zero, and anything that constitute loss will be below zero. The values will be below zero. So let's create conditions. Let's write if answer is greater than zero. That means if our value we calculate is greater than zero, we're going to write answer equal to self dot ids dot, all we are going to do is just to copy. We are going to copy and paste this right over here. We can delete this. We actually don't need it. So we write plus. Here under here, we are going to add we are going to add the text of since it's above zero, we are going to make sure that Python displays profit text. We are going to write str, which is right over here. We're going to write profit Also, if answer, we're going to write else. If answer is equal to 0, that means if our value is 0 after calculating, then we are just going to display the answer. We are not going to say anything. We are just going to display our value, which is 0. We are just going to display the 0 value. And anything outside of this, we're going to write else. And our else will be, we'll just copy this. Our else, anything that is not above 0 or equal to 0, we are going to, let's just paste this one. We are going to write loss. That means we lost, made loss. Loss, loss. So let's run it now and see if it's going to work. 76 our value, and maybe 9. Our total profit is 76 and our loss is 9. So let's calculate. Now it's displaying it right over here now that we made a profit. So let's say our value for loss is 900. It's going to give us our value minus 824, which is loss. And let's say our profit is 900 and our loss is 900. It's going to display 0 as we did right over here. That anything that is equal to 0, if the answer is equal to 0, just display the answer. You don't need to say it's profit or loss. So our final step now, I want to show you something right over here. So our final step now right over here is that whenever we write any value outside number, whenever we write any characters outside numbers, it displays an error, which is value error. Normally, the application not supposed to crash if we enter any value that seems to be outside numbers. So how are we going to do it to prevent it from crashing? Instead of it just crashing, we just make sure it displays, instead of it crashing, we make sure that right over this answer box it displayed invalid value. So here's what you are going to do for this. So here, right over here now, we are going to come over to this side, our function right over here. We are going to go one space backward and write try. Then we'll come down right over to this side too. We write except, what was that error that we had? Which the name of the error is value error. And whenever it displays value error, all we are going to do is just to come right over here, and let's copy and paste this stuff and write our text, which is in invalid value. So now whenever it's going to ignore, what we are trying to do here is that we are trying to ignore the value error. We are trying to skip the value error that is going to display for us whenever we enter an invalid value. So let's run it and enter any kind of characters that are invalid. I enter, it displays invalid value. It displays invalid value. Now it's not working fine. So let's test everything over again. So Now whenever we enter zero 900 9,000 it displays zero. Whenever we enter something like 9,001 it displays. Whenever our profit exceed loss it displays the value right here and it display profit. And whenever the loss exceed the loss value exceed the profit it displays our negative sign minus 81,008, which is loss. And whenever we write any invalid value it displays invalid value. So that's all for this tutorial. Thanks for watching. Hi, this is if this is your first time watching, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button right now. Hit the like button, and also please don't forget to support me on PayPal. The link is in the description below. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching and see you in my next video.